You fucking. And
Yeah.
the subtitles, are they on? Are we gonna go through the entire thing?
This is a good point. Right, let's start that again.
Incredible.
Now people can hear us because I've turned the audio on.
You
I've had a long
fucking
day. Anyway, let's start this now.
Professionalism.
Yes. Would it be nice if things...
I never thought that would get so much play. I never thought it would get so much play.
I'm gonna make
and yet,
I think I'm going to have to make a t-shirt up of it. That's going to have to be the first bit of merch.
it's gonna have to be like a picture of me going like this, and then like that, and then like ghost hands pointing at each letter, and it's like professional.
Could it be like one of those images, you know, when you look at it from a different angle, it changes, so you're like, huh?
Oh, a lenticular, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, lenticular.
At the very least, there should be a GIF. There should be a GIF. Which is
Absolutely. Yeah, you know how I said, like, before when we had no sound, oh god, I wish Discord worked. I wish my brain also worked. But let's start this. We're going to watch The Broken Circle from Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 1. Let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vamonos.
There you go. You didn't fuck up this time.
No, I didn't. Luckily, no one heard me.
I did. I will never let you forget.
But I really like that intro. The more I watch it, the more I love it.
And I love that they change it for every show. I love that they do that.
That's great.
It's a nice little labour of love. In fact, with the koala in Lower Decks.
And the Shrike in Picard as well.
Oh, yeah.
And, what was it? Well, Picard's spoilers. Oh, no, I can't say that, can I? No.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, yep.
Man, it really threw me seeing Discovery footage in this slump.
Yeah.
Putting this foot in there.
It's to prep you for the crossfield class you can't take back.
Yeah. Well, it's also stylistically, I think this does actually have a bit more in common with the Discovery episode, which I think I can see a little bit more
A
criticism
lot of people
on it.
say that. A lot of people say this feels more like a Discovery episode, which I kind of agree with.
Well, because it's actually following up on plot lines from Discovery, and stylistically, the camera movement is a bit more Discovery-esque. I think it's mostly once you get onto the actual Crossfield class. I think up until that point, it's very traditional Strange New Worlds, really.
Look at that. I love that Starbase one.
Yeah. Starbase 1 design is fucking peak. I love it. Wasn't initially sold on it when I saw it in Discovery, but with the addition of the terrarium domes, it's really, really cool.
I can imagine like Pike just like hiking around that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you notice those nacelles there were upside down as well? That little ship that was in the dock there?
I am indeed. Man, what a beautiful ship.
Yeah. It's the Archer class there. Pelia.
I love her.
She's
I
so
already
good.
love her. Whoosh.
And we get April back as well.
I'm always happy to see April. April's a really cool admiral.
Samantha T. Cogley.
I'm wondering. I really feel like it must be, right? She's got a weird, like, 7 of 9 bodysuit on. I guess that, like,
Yeah,
prison jumpsuits have evolved in the 23rd century. Guess what? I'm Christopher motherfucking Pike. I will clothesline Starfleet if I have to.
Does the cameraman loves Pike, doesn't he?
Well, who doesn't?
Every angle is good.
He's got such a charming little smile. Look at him.
He really doesn't want to be captain, does he?
You can really hear it in his voice, and
Yeah.
his like facial expressions are peak. We don't have half our senior staff.
Don't go stealing the ship now, Spock, while I leave.
What is the human expression? Famous last words. Is this look?
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
Oh god! Oh god!
They changed his hair a bit for season 2.
A little bit. I feel like it's a little bit more fluffy at the top.
Thank you for informing the audience, Mavenga.
Oh, you know. You need to give me something. Give me Vulcan Xanax, please,
yeah.
God.
He's definitely got that Nimoy cadence down.
I love how so quick it is. Like, yeah, have you considered living with the emotions? No, I refuse.
Is there any way that we couldn't?
How about we don't and
Yeah.
we say we did? I do like this as an explanation as to why Spock would be into music. 'Cause it was always
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
weird early TOS thing that never really came back.
The loot.
The loot. Man, Mbenga has like the perfect ASMR voice.
Just soothes my ears.
That spike in stress
Yep.
just.
Oh no. My
I
crutch
need
is
to
here.
leave. Everyone who's watching who's watched TOS is like,
Corby.
I need him to be a Giga Chad. I need it.
Which makes me think that this whole Spock Chapel romance thing will be like nulled at the end of the season. He'll do something bad and she'll go, right, no,
Maybe.
I am going on that archaeological thing. She'll be like, give me
Maybe,
a reason
yeah.
to stay, and he'll be like, I cannot.
I could see that being the case. Yeah.
I love that guy. More Mitchell.
I'm so glad Mitchell is back.
Yeah.
I loved her from season 1. Like, it's one of my things in Star Trek that I actually genuinely really love is like the secondary character who is not going to be there every week, who is just filling in a station on the bridge, but they are a cool person with lines and a personality.
It's like, don't touch my stuff. But she's got that
Literally,
era of like,
as I am sitting there.
yes, like I have now been promoted. I have authority.
Yeah, no, she's actually got that Nichelle Nichols energy, really. She's really, you can feel her growing into that just complete confidence at her station.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's subtle because she's a bit more insistent on it than, TOS Ahura would have been. But yeah, I fucking love it.
I love the subtitles there, like playing a graceful tune.
Out of tune notes.
Yes.
You didn't hear music, shut
Do
the
not
fuck
ask
up.
any questions.
Exactly. Maybe that'll be like a running joke throughout the season, is like she tries to get him to open up about the music. She walks out of his quarters, he picks up the loot, and she's run back in. Pike's in danger again.
No, he didn't send enough beeps.
Yeah. Not enough beats for that. Now, Admiral, I know you're wearing your Mass Effect 3 Admiral cosplay right now, but
oh my god,
it actually
Yeah.
is just what Admiral Anderson was wearing in
damn
Mass
it.
Effect 3.
it's the
Sorry.
shoulder things. Hack
It is.
out.
It's the epaulets. Yeah.
Does he say April out? That'll be the key.
Oh, that's the point. Yeah.
I like the explanation for this planet. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, no, it's a nice like geopolitical sort of like mirror of like we get this, I get that. It's like kind of oh god, there's like Suez, I guess would be kind of like the most equivalent
Yeah.
situation. And it's a more feasible explanation as to why they don't go for Lan and why Spock has to break orders. Because like this is a delicate situation where I can't really. He said it. Yeah, you could like. I can't blame April here. This is the right political call, but fuck the rest of it,
Mitchell, just put her on the main cast. Come on.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I'd love it. Maybe she'll get upgraded. Like if we lose someone.
Maybe. I wonder if Ortega's is going to make it through the season, if I'm honest.
Yeah, the season.
Because Melissa Navia she said this season was a struggle, partly because her partner died, before this season aired.
Everyone's like, oh, okay, we're stealing the Enterprise. I'm down.
Is this the first time they've stolen the Enterprise canonically?
This Enterprise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so this will be the first stealing. And Spock would do it again, not that long later. I think it would be...
Yeah, no, it's just that goofy move. That goofy move is like, I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah. Then he does it again in the menagerie, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think he does it another time in TOS before...
It's possible. I know that Kirk obviously does it in Search for Spock, so, boyfriend connection. That's the most famous instance. So I love that they've changed the intro for season 2.
Very subtly.
Yeah, it's like, I think this shot is different, and I was like, wait, that's the different shot, and then, like, a lot of other it's just, like, gorgeous visuals, just like...
Yeah, they are stunning. Pulsar.
Oh, man. And I know you're like, kind of down on this theme, but I love it.
Yeah, it's not my favourite. I got used to it.
I don't think I'd ever call it my favourite, but I really do like it. Maybe it's just like because I know that it means good episode. Like that's fucking beautiful. That's cool. Concept art.
Very stylistic. Yeah. They've definitely gone more on the stylistic. Like even when you see the Klingons coming out and the Enterprise sort of like doing its aileron rolls, like they've definitely gone the more stylish route than say Picard's more realistic route.
Yeah, absolutely. And they even changed, I think, the terrarium that they show you, which is cool.
Oh, do they? Boo. Chris Fisher. Just look up what else he did.
Yeah, I'm curious if he has like history on Discovery.
Sneaky.
Now, I have seen some criticism that this is one of the easier thefts of the Enterprise I've ever seen. And I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that I think most of our crew is off on shore leave.
Yeah.
And it's full of inspectors who are like more inclined to not have an attachment to the ship. Cooler leak! We got to kill him! We need to get like Geordie just like over the intercom.
Just rolling around the ship.
Yeah, just rolling under the door, absolutely.
It's like, it's not even that much of an emergency. No.
This is how you make me fall in love with a character in one scene. I love the voice. Every time I hear it, it makes me laugh.
It took a little while for me to get my ear around it, if I'm honest.
It's also nice to see Spock not in complete possession of the facts. Look at Mitchell being like, oh shit.
I like she's wearing a holster.
Yeah, I like that. She got like a holster for a toolkit, I think it is.
It's pretty cool. She's got a very... Did you watch The Expanse?
I did, yeah.
She's very much an Avasarala
Yeah,
attitude.
in terms of like, yeah.
I'm not stating it, I'm flat out saying it. All she's missing is the casual, just go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. She's such a shit stirrer. She's got like the pot of shit, and she's like, yeah, what could be going on? Fucking love Celia Rose-Gooding. That's a great question. If this was a Princess Bride, she would have made a thing of like a vodka with a hunch.
Yes.
Okay, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love that she doesn't go Passeric. She's like, no, Amanda Grayson
yeah.
is the real shit. That's awesome.
I like that.
I love Ortega so much. Kaboom. Oh, hey, this is exactly what we had to do in Resurgence, remember?
Oh, yes, that's exactly it, isn't it? Yeah.
Blowing the clamps.
Yeah, the clamps.
Oof, man, the CG is
pretty
so
good, yeah.
beautiful. Just like played like the Searcher Spock, like, you know, like OST over this right now. Oh, she looks so beautiful in motion, you know?
Yeah.
And I do love that they go straight up. I love that.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. There's something oddly flirtatious about the way she is.
She's definitely got a sexual energy about her.
Like every line just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Toodles. Like, I'm already in love. Like, you guess what? I'm sad you got rid of Hemmer, but I'll take it.
If you're gonna replace a fan favorite, then yeah, do it well.
Yeah. And I appreciate that while she's human looking, she is an alien.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear more about that because there's no information on Memory Alpha or anywhere about
this is a completely new
yeah.
species, yeah. I love this.
I kind of wish they hadn't spoiled this in the trailer.
Little bit.
Yeah, that would have been funnier. Like in than either.
Yeah, no, but having the preamble helps. It helps build up the joke. What was Rios's? I forget.
Dale, which was like Spanish for make it so.
Well, it's like
Spanish,
Chilean
Portuguese,
Spanish, right? Oh, yeah.
I don't
We'll
think
workshop
Kirk
it.
ever had a line, did he?
Not really.
No.
I said like a head walk back to whatever.
Yeah.
That was kind of his closest.
Apart from his, straight on till morning, second star to the right.
Yeah.
But that was more.
Well, that's just like the romanticism, yeah.
And Cisco was just like, just fucking do your job.
no, his is maximum magnification. I love this. This is a great planet.
I've had a hell of a
And it makes
CG
sense that a dilithium planet would have weird rock formations.
I'm a little disappointed
really
that
nice...
they didn't show a Discovery Klingon. It is all new Klingons, which is fine, but I would like for them to have mixed it a little bit in there, just to kind of go like, they're all different.
It's a little bit
versions,
safer.
Yeah.
I think we're all hoping for a bit. Maybe we'll get more Klingons later.
Yeah. I love this
guy. But they
do
have very... Oh, yeah, he's great. This is very classic TNG style Klingons. That cloak, I'm almost certain Giorgio wore it in season
You're probably
2 of
right,
Discovery.
actually. Yeah, when she comes out and she's had the face morph.
It's like, come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it.
I love him. He's such a classic Klingon.
Yeah. Like he does it. Like he's a little bit. He finds this a little bit hot. He's like,
Absolutely.
oh, Lando. He should have had to refill his thing. Like that's the rules. He's wearing earrings as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. That look. Man, Christina Chong is a treat.
Yeah. Take it now. I just eat nuts. Like, nah, I'm gonna lose that one.
Yeah, I like that we get a variety. Like her head regions are very much more like a Discovery style.
That's true.
Klingon.
Yeah.
She's got hair, but she is like because Kadok was very much more
Missing the
TNG.
nostrils though. These have only got the standard 2, not 4.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll get more.
There he is.
Man, fucking Mbenga looks so handsome every time I see him. And we get a return of the eye gesture.
Yes, we spoke about that, didn't we? We did. We were like, where is the web? What is that about? So it wasn't actually that urgent.
Yeah, no, I probably would have been fine. The Wild West.
Yeah, it was this time. This is very much
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is actually, if you think of that Wagon Train to the Stars, this is very thematically similar to like a Western thing.
a lot of the early, in the history of it, because obviously you had the real Wild West with Enterprise going out in NX-01, and they had nothing. There wasn't a Wild West. There was nothing. They didn't know what was out there. It was pretty much pioneering the land for the first time. But
yeah,
during the TOS era, it was definitely colonies were out there. They're all remote. They needed Mud's women for comfort for wives, that kind of stuff. Oh, don't be those. Yeah, here comes the drama.
Yeah. I really this gives so much more depth to Mbenga and Chapel's relationship, that they are basically forged in fire.
It is a little bit last minute though. It always feels like it's set up for this episode. I don't know if we ever got any indication of it in season 1.
No, but that's because it never came up.
Mm-hmm.
And not mention, it was always a case of we didn't know what a lot of their history was. We knew that Pike and Spock and Una weren't there because they were explicitly sidelined, but everyone who wasn't a known quantity, we had no idea if they'd participated in the war or not.
I really like Chapel's outfit.
She's
got a sleeve thing on.
This was a cool surprise.
Mm.
Even if they don't get names.
No. Parent Oriana, Parent 1, Oriana, Parent 2.
Exactly, yeah.
Wait, did you just give her the super soldier serum? Shit.
You are now Captain America. Apologies.
I like this Klingon lady. She reminds me of Dura's sister.
A little bit.
The royal we.
Yeah, nah. The omnipresent we. It's like we're undercover and, okay. Well, we're very undercover.
Ah, the Mines of Moria.
I was going to say Mordor, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Or what was it, Vader's planet in Star Wars?
Mustafar,
Mustafar,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that the villains are here? They're here.
Yes, it very much is that. It's dark and ominous. You know, why do villains not live in, like, brightly lit, skyscrapers?
They
Unless they're
didn't
80s, like, businessmen.
No, the child killers.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, this is interesting as well, because by Final Frontier, she kind of forgets all her... No, not Final Frontier.
It's Undiscovered Country.
Yeah,
I think they're
Undiscovered
just treating that as non-canon because everyone hated it.
Hmm. It's actually just a cassette player.
Yeah, no, actually.
just started playing. Within the material world.
Oh, you've been watching the Barbie trailers again.
No, that was actually on the radio today.
Okay.
But I have also been watching the Barbie trailer.
I'm really looking forward to that. Lan is very good at these covert ops. I could very easily see her being bumped up to Starfleet Intelligence.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's a good thing that worked. And I need to be able to say, look, I was justified.
Yes.
We have a new transport
We
chief.
do.
Does she remind you of the Ensign J who was always on the TNG bridge?
I think that's probably what they named her after.
Well, also she looks like her.
Yeah.
It looks like they cast her and they were like,
Maybe it's her
hang
daughter. Could be her daughter.
on. Yeah, daughter or granddaughter would work in this time
Gosh,
frame.
don't make me feel old now. Come on.
Well, no, because that's like 100 years later, dude.
Oh, I was thinking actual daughter, or like the actresses.
No, the characters.
Right,
Like, come on, my dude.
Right. In which case that'd be
Not making you
grandmother.
feel
Yeah,
that
grandmother.
old.
Right, great grandmother.
Yeah.
Another Enterprise. Oh, sorry, another Discovery.
Get out of here, you packled. No, they were called an Enterprise. Man, this CG is so nice. And hey, we got some Discovery sets.
That's true. Yes, I suppose we would have.
This is absolutely the Discovery
Yeah,
sickbay.
it's the med bay. Redundant systems.
Wow, you're a real dickbag, huh?
House of Duras?
Yeah. All of them are. And this is the point where that guy's like, oh, I actually wasn't there. Oh, you were.
that roke egg.
Oh, yes.
That battle.
Oh, after the blood pie.
Ooh, floor blood ply. Floor blood ply. I can't say that. Floor blood ply. No. Too many L's in the wrong places.
Wow, you are just dying.
It's been a long day. But what if you weren't?
Mm-hmm. He's a little bit frightening when he's like that.
It's intense.
Like, I had anticipated that there would be trauma from the Klingon War based on his wife, but this is just like, no, he just went through a lot of shit.
Yeah. He needs to have a chat with Culber.
Yeah, well, Culber is unfortunately indisposed 900 years in the future.
Yeah. Never stop Burlingham off Ramusen. I can't say anything.
Berlinghoff Rasmussen. You're actually basically correct, yeah.
There should be a ban on how many consonants you put in a name.
Good luck with that.
Nah. My biggest problem with this
is a bit of a plot device, yeah.
It's just weed. Just THC.
It's the dankest of weeds.
Did you bring your spoon? You could.
There has to be some kind of
you can do some
consequence for this.
science stuff. I didn't like this.
I have no problem with it being a thing. I think that the way it's shot is a little bit overdramatic.
Very much so. Yeah, it's all very...
Like, the thing, I'm fine with this if it ends up being the case that this performance enhancer they're using is, like, massively deleterious for their health.
Yeah.
Like, if we find out in 3 episodes that they are having, like, cardiac issues or, like, you know,
I'll
some
be
kind
happy
of
if
degenerative problems, I'd be like, okay, that completely justifies all of this. But if this is just a 1-episode power-up that has no drawback, then I have a problem with it.
Yeah, or if, like, at least Mabenga, maybe this is the reason he gets kicked off the Enterprise, like, in favour of Piper and McCoy, like... You know, he developed or kept this drug that he shouldn't have kept because it defies so many, medical conventions. It's got to be an illegal drug.
The thing is, I don't think this would actually defy medical conventions because whatever drug that McCoy takes in City on the Edge of Forever has exactly the same effect. Actually,
but that was unintentional. That wasn't. That was overdose.
Yeah, but it has the same physical effect.
Yeah. Who does number 2 work for?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's a face.
Yeah. Yeah, I need this to come back. I need this to come back and be, like, addressed, because, like, it's also a case of, like, you're showing Starfleet officers kind of using torture a little bit there. Like, it's softer torture than, but kind of...
I'm fine with Mabenga going a bit nuts and going over the line because of his trauma from the Klingon War. That I don't have any problem with that. Like, if he's pushing the line and has to have Chapel to stop him, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Well, it's also a case of, like, I need there to be, showing torture being used is not something you should do lightly, you know?
No.
But it's like, I also have to say, like, while I understand that this is very overdramatic and overly stylized, like, if it was a choice between this and some, like, kind of okay choreographed phaser fights, I would prefer this. Because this isn't something you get to see on Star Trek every day.
No, true.
Yeah, maybe this is also going to be the reason why she's going to go on that scholarship to Vulcan. Maybe, like, she'll get, like, some kind of physiological backlash from it and have to...
Yeah.
She gets really badly fucked up in this episode.
Yeah, she's...
You know, I'd say that is something I appreciate. I appreciate when women are allowed to be, like, beaten the fuck out of them. You know, it's like... Yeah. I hate that trope of, I'm a beautiful woman in a fight and, like, there's no blood on me, I haven't been... This was a bit too much.
This is dumb. Why?
Yeah, this is really silly. Not required. Not required at all.
I thought they were going to like jump into some like zero gravity situation, like the sweet
Yeah.
spot of the ship or something. Like,
Or like this plate didn't have like grav plating. Yeah. Oh, we got the disco lighting going on.
Yeah. This is probably like one action sequence too much.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I got at this point. Maybe at this point it's like, no, we had fun doing this, so let me just beat up another load of Klingons.
Oh shit!
Okay, but that though, yeah, that look on his face.
You pissed off Joseph Wick.
And a little bit too much slow-mo as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I like seeing Mbenga just go nuts. Like, there's something about that that's very satisfying. Because I hope that it's going to go somewhere.
I just always think that, like, in Star Trek, a violent answer should be the last one. Like, no matter dire the situation, they always science their way out of something, or they link him with a transporter beam somewhere, or, like, I feel like there could have been a better way than possibly having them beat the shit out of people for, like, 20 minutes.
Well, it's been like 5 minutes, actually.
Well,
it's not nearly as long as you make it.
I was being facetious, but yeah.
I do agree. I think what you could have done is had them get to a transport room, beam down a deck, and then they have to fight like one deck of Klingons.
Yeah,
I feel like that would
might
have been fine.
You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. I don't feel you need to slow me there. That was a bit much.
It almost feels like we need to add another 10 minutes runtime to this.
Maybe.
Going up.
Third floor haberdashery.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
listen to that.
Ship.
It feels like it's proper rusty ship like flying off. It's got weight
A little bit
to
of
it.
a pirate ship thing going.
Yeah.
I love this shot in the rings as well. That's a nice shot of the Enterprise.
The Broken Circle. Oh, all right. That's the name of the episode.
That's the name of the episode, name of the terrorist group, yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's a great sight gag.
Mm-hmm.
So, funny thing, that's not a crossbill class.
No, I reading the explanations.
That's
it's
wrong
like
the cells.
what they would reconstruct a crossfield class to be if they didn't have the proper tech specs. I think that's the
that makes sense.
general idea, because the source
It
is the
does
same.
have the right saucer. Yeah.
And she says, "I think." Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have like a line of like it's been cobbled together. I love this justification. They keep on coming with good reasons for her to contribute. I really appreciate that.
The other problem I have here is we've got obvious plot armor. Like, we know they're not going to die, but they do ramp up the suspense with it. I mean, for people that haven't watched it before,
well,
fine.
the thing is, it's like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it before, that's fine. Strange New Worlds is a great, opener for people who haven't watched Star Trek before. But here's the thing: for people who know it's got plot armor, the tension comes not from whether or not they're going to die; it's how far is Spock going to let it go.
True.
Look at like Spot completing the second half of the chess game.
Mega.
Minga. Zabinga. Bazinga. And then Mbenga's like, shut the fuck up. You want fries with that? That's a lot of orders.
Just do the impossible, and I want it done by tea time.
Yeah. It's like I got some rope.
Yeah.
Man, this is a great sequence though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful turn. Look at that.
Spock, did you start a war again?
Again?
Just
God
like
damn
your
it.
sister. God damn it.
Yeah, no, for real. This fucking family.
When will Sarek's children stop causing problems?
Yeah. They're not doing a lot of damage. Oh, that's... Man. Just the way it looks.
Hey.
And this like aileron roll
Yeah.
is incredible.
With the camera roll as well.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that
Yeah.
camera, because then it leads right into this. Like, that is beautiful. Tom Paris wishes.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can flap the nose
also-
Voyager.
That's why you don't have bubble shields. That's why
Yeah,
you
that's
have like
true.
ones that hug the ship. Otherwise, all of those would have hit. They did it in Discovery. He's like, I hate these odds. These are awful.
Uh-oh.
I love that they give it like such audible like inertia.
Yeah, of all the things of like people say, like, oh, there's no sound in space, I'm just like, yeah, but it's cooler if there was.
Yeah, no, guess what? It's like, shut up, you're watching a fucking movie, we're not watching a documentary.
But I do appreciate the shows where they make a point to make it silent in space for effect, and that
Yeah, for
works.
stylistic choices, like,
Yeah.
I love that. That unlocking for the disruptor cannon
Yeah.
is sick.
Little nut at the back there.
Sorry?
The little spinny nut.
I'm sorry? Tell me about the little nut in the back there?
Just a little nut. So this was the intimate look we were thinking about. We're like, oh no, this is...
Yeah, there's a bit of a misdirect.
Yeah, Spock, I guess it's back to T'Pring.
Yeah. Oh no, I had to go with the consolation prize. And D'Pring's like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Kablams.
Yeah, Ethan Peck's great.
Yeah. I appreciate that, like, while it killed him to do it, he's able.
Do you think they'll reuse that just that Crossfield dying shot in the end of Discovery Season 5 when they blow it up? I really want them to, just to
No,
establish the Star Trek precedent.
No.
This was weird.
Well, it's because that they're representing them, like, flickering in and out of consciousness.
Yeah, I know. It's cold outside. No kind of atmosphere.
More alone, more or less. She lost... All the blood on her face disappeared.
Yeah. And went out in space.
Yeah.
She had a vacuum cleanse.
Yeah.
You're correct.
That's the fan base right now.
Yeah. That is correct. She does not die.
Man, Benga looks so happy. I love that.
Why are you gonna be so rough, Mr. J? Sorry.
You know what? Jess Bush would make a decent Harley Quinn.
I could see it.
Got that chaotic energy.
I love this guy.
This guy is extremely TNG. I love him.
I almost thought it was J.G. Hertzler.
He has that energy, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he sounds...
He's very classic. Like, you could hear this guy saying, Gowron, I do not accept your counsel.
Yeah, you're right.
I love that TOS Star Baldric as well.
Yeah. I like this captain. He's basically just like, I do believe what's happened here is what you say, but party?
But prove it.
Yeah.
No balls. I also love the thematic tie back to Undiscovered Country here. Like, I could absolutely see this being the case.
yeah,
You
that's
know what? Vulcans are okay.
Only Nixon would go to China, only Spock would go to Kronos.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm dying.
Yes. Pelle's just like, I'll have a martini.
Yeah, no, not shaken, not stirred.
Just wobbling around. Was it Tellarite there I just spotted?
Yeah. This is so he's so fucking wasted right now.
Little trans allegory there as well.
I'm wondering if that's going to go somewhere. I'm really interested to know more about her now.
It's almost got like a Lord of the Rings-ish kind of dialogue to her.
I'm so fucking bored!
Yeah. And Pike comes back, he's like, you did what? You promoted who?
I have a new commander in charge of engineering. Well, I mean, she's certified, but you know. Yeah.
I wonder if that captain would end up being on the High Council about Gorkon's time, and that's how Spock gets his inroads.
Maybe, I'd like that. I'd actually be completely fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's moments like that, you know, like that, and like, you know, Denatra on the Valdor. Like, these are the moments that diplomacy are born out of.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah! I can't punish you for being successful. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to put a note in your file.
Yeah. There will be a next time.
Oh! Oh, my boy!
I really want him to just collapse on the desk.
Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah, he just like lays his head down.
Oh, God.
I'm dying.
Romulan blood wine Romulan ale should be illegal.
It is. Yeah, this is,
Dragging out.
I don't think it's dragging out. I think it's like...
Yeah. Well, no, I mean
It's gonna be
dragging out. I
rough.
mean, they are more... No, sorry, setting up more, or there's going to be something that's going to pay off and not end well here.
Oh, yeah. That's very Spock. At least, yeah, I feel like, yeah, they're definitely building to him losing this. He's going to lose this ability to feel, and it's going to suck. It's going to be like when Donna loses her memories in Doctor Who. It's going to be like that feeling.
Yeah.
I like who you turn in. You know, who you turn into is like fine, but the person you were and what you lost when you hardened, you know, is going to be a loss. Because that's the point you have to reach. You know, it's like you get to see all this growth, and you know where it's going to lead to, and it's going to be rough. Yeah, this is setting up something that
Ominous.
Yeah.
Another war. Oh my god, it's the goon.
In the goon. You're the goon.
Cue credits. Oh, I like this as well.
Yeah, this was sweet.
Passed through the door and showed us the stars.
Yeah, that's nice and classy. That's well done, guys.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Nice.
that is everything. Cool. I enjoyed that a lot more second time, I think.
So, you know, we'll see you guys on the review, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our watch through for this episode. Thank you for joining
Cool.
us.
Thank you for joining us.
Cool. I have my notes.
Cool.
I'm ready when you are.
I have no notes, but I'm here anyway. Anyway, welcome to everyone to Star Trek Trek, our special 10-week run of Strange New World Season 2 as it airs, and we have just finished
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Indeed, we need to flash it up. Some flashing lights might appear on screen.
Right.
They might not. But yes, this is beginning first of the 10-week run of Season 2 of Strange New Worlds, beginning with A Broken Circle, the first episode opener. And yeah, this was not the season opener I thought they were going to do. I didn't think it was going to be a continuation. It didn't feel like it was like a, hey, this is our blaring new episode to set things up. It's just more like this is the next episode of Strange New Worlds, which is interesting.
Yeah, it feels very much like you could if you wanted to, you could just binge it all and go from like season 1, episode 10, season 2, episode 1, and be like, oh, this is exactly the same story, really.
Seamless.
Yeah, and like to be fair, like I understand that some people have found that a bit jarring, maybe because it's a case of, especially if you're more used to like 90s Trek, where you would have last season would end on a cliffhanger and then it would resume in the second half. It's like this is very much not that. This is we are picking up on, you know, like I'd say probably 10% of the same plot threads, you know, in terms of like the overarching thing with Una, but the rest of it is a entirely new development with the Klingons and the Broken Circle and Uhura and Chapel and everything like that. So
yeah. So this was directed by Chris Fisher, who was his previous work was A Quality of Mercy, the season 1 final episode, which was excellent. So
now here's the thing. So we're going to get more into the weeds here, but I feel like it's the moment you said that he directed Quality of Mercy, I was like, suddenly it all makes sense. Because while we were watching this, there were multiple instances where we were talking about that stylistic choice is a little bit much. This camera rotation is not what I would have done. There is a little bit too much slow-mo being used here. And if you recall, that is also a criticism I had of Cruelty of Mercy, where you had stuff like the weird, handheld shot of Pike in the sickbay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it appears that this is just how Chris Fisher directs. He has, more unconventional and, I suppose it is eye-catching. I don't know if it's always the best choice for the scene. Because especially that shot where they drop through the floor and then it reorients, that would be completely fine if, like you said, we were going to go through an anti-gravity sequence to communicate that we were changing gravities or whatever. But we just went onto a different floor. I was more fine with it in Quality of Mercy, especially that handheld shot, because it's meant to represent Pike's alienated state, he's just traumatized. He's was having an out-of-body experience. So that handheld camera made sense there. But here it felt like it was a little bit overdone. And it's especially jarring considering the fact that the rest of the episode is shot very conventionally and very well.
Yeah,
I would say that the rest of it is almost it's not boring, but it's just this is very competently shot. It's not drawing attention to itself. It's just doing what it needs to tell the story well. And then there are these odd moments where it's you didn't have to do this stylistic thing. And that's why I feel when... I've seen some criticism of it, and it's if you look at the actual plot content of this episode, it's pretty good. And it's a natural evolution of Season 1's story threads. It's just that the stylistic one for this episode is a little bit off. And I don't know if I would have picked him for the opener.
Yeah. So let's get into the my main criticism of the episode. I've got a lot of good things to say about this episode, but I think the one thing that was my main criticism, and a lot of people's as well, was that whole sort of fight sequence. And I feel, in my opinion, there were 3 fights in total through that. Mbenga and Chapel
there's one in the sick bay, there's one on the first deck, and then there's one on the second deck.
When they drop, exactly. Yeah. And okay, so there's two parts I don't like about it. And one of them is which, it went on for far too long. Too many slow-mo shots, too many drops and starts and carries on. There could have been maybe one fight sequence, and then they kind of get to their objective without being it so convoluted, with Chapel being partly in danger and then suddenly not, and then going off to the airlock and that. And the other problem I have is, without, but Benga has trauma from the Klingon War. That was kind of set up this episode, but probably discussed beforehand, and maybe there's a line somewhere that said that him and Chapel fought in the war and things like that. But he has a drug.
I'm going to jump in on that point.
Go on.
I'm going to jump in on that point. That is not established in Season 1, because I would have remembered it. The only reason I even thought it was a thing was because he had mentioned that his wife had died, his wife Deborah, and I assumed that was during the Klingon War. This is not still explicit whether or not that was related, but I guessed that. It was not part of the text that was introduced in this season. That being said, given that the only members of the crew who we know for a fact were not on the fighting the Klingon War were Pike, Spock, and Una, because they were too busy being sent off after Discovery, it was open season. You're allowed to fill in these gaps because it is the most logical place for these people to be. So I have no problem with them introducing that in here. That being said, the drug itself, this causes a lot of problems for Star Trek, really. I'm happy with Mbenga having this PTSD moment, because one thing is that Babs can act the fuck out of it. He is really good. There are some great moments, especially when he's torturing, interrogating the cloud. He's terrifying, and he's got a lot of attitude, and that was great. That was the good part of it, to bring out that kind of reaction from that actor and sort of work through his trauma. But I don't like the idea of Starfleet suddenly just having a drug that can turn them into super soldiers for a limited time with no real consequence. It's and there's no explanation as to whether it was illegal. There was kind of a hint where Chapel said that, we're going to use that again, are you ready to use it? They've obviously had it before during the Klingon War, which maybe they served together, or there was something that they developed. I think that's the explicit test. They were assignment together. So I don't have a problem with the existence of this drug, because we have seen drugs do something similar. I name-checked Cordrazine in City of Virgin Forever. McCoy was knocking guys left, right, and center. Obviously he went insane as well, but that's, this is a different drug. I am absolutely fine with this being some kind of ridiculous performance enhancer. It's 23rd century medicine. It's nuts. You can regrow kidneys, okay? The problem I have is you're absolutely right. There is apparently no side effect from this. To the point where, like, Mbenga isn't even in a hospital bed at the end of the episode. It's just Chapel because she got all the other injuries and she had a cardiac arrest. I need this to be addressed. I need there to be some kind of ongoing health problem. I need there to be, I fucked my body doing this. And you get a little bit of that because you can see that, like, Chapel manages to almost, like, break her hand on some guy's face because she's punching so hard. I need either, like, maybe some kind of addiction storyline. I could see that being the thing because we've gone down that road before with Trillium D. I didn't think it was the best handled there, but but I feel like it's a case of, like, you can't do this. It will literally break your body into pieces if you keep on doing it. And that would be fine. It will close that loop as to why it doesn't come up again and why no one uses it, because it is so absolutely toxic to the body. You're not meant to use this kind of thing. Now, that being said, I think we have to kind of think about what this is telling us in the story. And in the story, this is over dramatic and over stylized, but it is in service of character. It is informing us about the depths of Mbenga's rage and the depth of his trauma, because he is noticeably stronger than Chapel. And I don't think that's just because of the performance enhancer. I think it is because he is significantly more traumatized than she is. Like, you can see it on him. And I am hoping we will get this developed and it will not be dropped. I don't want this to be a flash in the pan. I want this to be brought back up again.
That's the worry.
Maybe in the episode. I'm hoping the episode where we see everyone's traumas, like we're thinking we see Uhura's, like, parents die in that shuttle accident and Long comes face to face with Gorn. We're thinking that might be an episode where they're shown their greatest fears or, like, traumas. If this whole storyline comes back and it addresses the serum use, turning into Captain America for half an episode, then I'm fine with it. It retroactively will justify the scene and the amount of attention to it. That being said, it was totally a pacing killer.
Yeah, it lasted too long, like, because we didn't even have cutaways. I think you could have done, if they were going to do it, you could have had that first fight, cutaway, and then they're, like, just finishing off a couple of guys and then going into, like, the reprogramming the comms unit. I think, like, and like we said before, like, a lot of stylistic choices in that whole scene. It's a lot of slow-mo. There was that weird sort of Dutch angle flip into the into what we thought was going to be the sweet spot of the ship, but just turned to be a drop into the deck. There was a lot of things there that, it was definitely went on a bit too long.
And it's also this thing of, like, so when you're thinking of the direction of these things, you think about what you're trying to communicate with when you're making a stylistic choice, right? Use a Dutch angle to communicate that things are off kilter, because they literally are off kilter. You make things out of focus and draw things in and out because you want to draw attention to them, right? And here you want to communicate that, like, Chapel and Mbenga are, like, basically off the chain. They are ridiculously amped. And you go for slow-mo, and that's fine if you're perceiving time in a much slower way, where you want to, like, draw attention to the movement. But considering how, like, amped they were, I almost feel like it should have been more erratic and more, like, there should have been. I don't want to, let's say that something like the Bourne Identity or, like, Quantum of Solace. Like, I think that's cut a little bit too jagged.
Taken 3.
Oh god, don't even. But something a little bit more akin to that rather than overuse of slow-mo. Like, maybe slow-mo and then slow up. Like, I think Zack Snyder used that a little bit. And it's fine when used in moderation, but this was not moderation.
No, I won't go too much more on this, but there was, I think that's probably the one part
I feel like it's worth talking about it because it's the biggest problem. It's actually the only thing I would say is an actual flaw in the episode, because I think the rest of the episode is really rock solid.
Absolutely. And, well, let's talk about one of my favourite things. We got Klingons. We got classic TNG movie era Klingons come back, which is great. We're introduced to the guy trying to have a drinking contest with La'an, and kudos to that guy's actor. He goes through a range of, like,
he's fucking great.
Like, real kind of, like, you can't show me up, feeble human. It's definite. There's some great Klingonry at work here.
Yeah. Like, I feel like after Discovery Season 2 backed off from the Klingons super hard, and then, like, the only other time we've seen them since was in Picard Season 3. Yeah. With Worf. And I feel like he was the only one, wasn't he?
Don't think we saw another Klingon, not in Season 1 at least, I remember.
So it's been, like, 4 or 5 years since we've seen a lot of Klingons on screen. So I feel like they had an excuse to be like, let's go big. Let's just remind everyone just how fun Klingons can be when you A, don't overuse them, and B, don't slather them in prosthetics that makes it hard for them to act.
Yeah. It was very... I would have maybe liked to see like a couple of different Klingons, like maybe one of the genetically modified Klingons in the background, and maybe like one Discovery style Klingon, just to prove a point that's like, oh, we have many different looks. They're done. It would have been nice, but I'm not going to complain right now. I was very happy with every Klingon scene.
Exactly, yeah. No, like they were done to perfection. It's kind of just like with the Shepherds in season 1.
Oh, yeah.
Like they cast these guys perfectly. They know exactly what they are cast for. Or the Rongovians in episode 5.
The
like
Rongovians are really
they've been casting these aliens perfectly as exactly what they're meant to be, like the Romulan commander in Call It Mercy.
Yeah.
Every one of these bit parts, like I have to commend the casting director. They are serving these points exactly and have exactly the right energy that they're bringing to it. Like you were talking about just how much the Chakra reminded you of like J.G. Hertzler. Like that's a really big compliment.
The Klingon captain was just like, I looked at him, and the way he started speaking, I thought, is that J.G. Hertzler? Like, but it turned out it wasn't. But he was like you say, he was a very classic TNG era, the way he spoke, the way he addressed the stream, and there was part of my brain, like he's in my head, I could hear like a Romulan commander somewhere speaking the same lines, and he was great. Yeah, I want to see more of him. And one of the things I came up with was also maybe his relationship with Spock with the end there was maybe what draws Spock to Kronos during the Undiscovered Country. Maybe he gets more a position on the High Council and introduces him to Gorkon, which would be... I like seeing Spock out of his element, but it makes sense. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I think this episode is a Spock episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Really, when you think about it. And I think that's part of the reason why the stylistic stuff kind of like draws away from it, because it's so divorced from the Spock stuff. And there's a lot of really good character work being done here, because, like I say, he's being drawn out of his comfort zone, but he's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
He's kind of flirting with being able to lie, which is something that is foreshadowed earlier on the episode as being he's awful at. Like, kudos to Celia Rose Gooding for like one of the best sight roll of her eyes I've ever seen.
Yeah, she really did.
And it's just like I really love what they're doing with Spock, where it's like, even though this is a character we know so much about, there is still so much that we don't know about his growth, and you can see that the bullet points of how you get from here to there to there to there. But seeing the growth in between it is still just so fun, because Ethan Peck is such a good performer.
Ethan Peck was stunning this episode. He had the complete range of everything here. He had the struggling with his emotions to trying to stagger half tipsy through the Klingon group. And even almost half apologetic to Admiral April at the end there.
Yeah, no, you get a nice like range of all the Spock emotions, but he still feels like he's mostly in control. And it's really important that Spock is portrayed as mostly in control and actively maintaining that control. That's why I think it's really cool that we get to see the origin of his playing the Vulcan Luke, which was always a bit of an odd outlier in his character in TOS, and this makes a bit more sense out of it. It's because this was a problem that they ran into with Tuvok and Voyager, where it was like, how do we come up with an interesting episode for Tuvok? Make him lose emotional control. And it's like, yeah, it's cool that you get to see more of that emotional range, but you lose the essential point of what a Vulcan is and their whole philosophy if you're constantly making them lose control. You need to show them being in control and maintaining that control for it to have any weight when they lose it. And I feel like that's what they're doing a lot here. They're kind of showing just how hard Spock has to work to maintain it. It's not something that comes naturally to Vulcans.
Stunning Spock episode. But I especially liked his introduction, or his interactions with our brand new chief engineer, Carol Kane herself, with Commander Pelia. What a joy! What an absolute joy!
She reminds me of you know what she's got. You'll get this title. She's got Miriam Margoyle's energy.
Miriam Margoyles, who's that from?
She played Professor Sprout in the Harry Potter movies, but she's well known for being a massively like left wing, massively like shit stirring, foul mouthed granny. Sort of. I think she's like 82 years old. She's doing a new photo shoot because she's like, "Fuck it, I haven't got any fucking limitations. I have no filter. You will listen to me," and she's intelligent and measured, but also just completely batshit. And Pelia has that exact same energy. The accent is a bit distracting, but I was immediately charmed. I was very charmed
second time around
by
watching it. I definitely was a bit like, yeah, no, this is great. I kind of like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It just takes a lot. It's like watching Paul Wesley Kirk. You kind of have to get used to it, but then you're like, no, this is a stylistic choice that makes tons of sense. And she's just so much fun. She has got her big vat of shit, and she is stirring it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you can't stop me. I'm going to just cause problems on purpose and aid and abet the hijacking of the Federation flagship because I'm bored.
I can't wait for Pike to come back to the Enterprise. Like, you did what, Spock? And you wait, who's this? Who is this? Who's this small lanthanite on my bridge?
Yeah, I wanted to be like, hello, I'm Chief Pelia. I am the chief enabler. Like, I'm going to enable everyone to make bad decisions.
Yes, she does,
great.
doesn't she? Yeah, like, I'm just
She
going to
really
cause
does.
trouble. But no, she was great. Love the energy that we get from that, which is great. I'm a big fan of contrasts. I love like yin yang, black on white, things that make things stand out. And there's nothing that makes things stand out more than have Pelia talking to Spock on the bridge as he's trying to hijack it. That was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like that's what Star Trek is meant to be about. It's about the differences between us, like, you know, causing difference, but also like allowing us to close that distance and allowing us to like draw out the best that we can be. And I adore the fact that even though she's not in makeup, you know, I understand she's 70 years old, she doesn't want to be doing that, but she's still an alien. I love it when we have aliens on board. Like, obviously, visible aliens are just as great. Like, I love our Sarus, I love our Odos, but the fact that we're going to be able to explore another alien culture, cool. That's what I'm here for Star Trek about. Like, you know, if you're going to... And guess what? We're all long past the point of complaining why they all look human. Don't accept it, it's fine.
We've got the chase. That is the one point you can go to.
Exactly.
Like, no, that's there. That's canon.
Yeah. And the fact that she name checks Amanda is so great. Because you're so used to Spock being called out as son of Sarek. And his, like, ancestry with Amanda is, like, you know, downplayed because it's not something that comes up very often. But there's just something really novel about, oh, you're Spock, Amanda Grayson's son. And he's like, that one. And it's like, Amanda is a formidable presence in her own right with like a significant history and achievement, and I'm wondering if we're going to get to see her this season.
Well,
I would love that.
Say, yeah, maybe she'll make an appearance. That.
Because her actor on Discovery was perfect. Like, she was perfectly cast. She has just like that right energy. I could see her becoming Jane Wyatt in like in 10 years or whatever. And I want to see Pelia and Amanda. I want to see that relationship now. I want to see all this. Get me Amanda on the Enterprise, embarrassing Spock in front of Pelia and Pike. I want it. I need it.
Okay, we also had a lot of juicy ship shots here, especially involving one including a ever so slightly kit-bashed Crossfield class, which was built using scraps in a cave, Iron Man style, which I think was why Mitchell went, I think it's a Crossfield class, maybe it's not.
Yeah, because it's got the exact same saucer section as the Discovery, but the rest of it is very much more of a traditional, like, TOS style. Man, they really went off on the VFX like this. That whole sequence where they're chasing the Crossfield class through the range was just beautifully shot. And even though Ortegas is not getting as much to do as, say, like Uhura or Spock, she's still just like knocking it straight out of the fucking park. She is such a talent. And
that moment where you know, Pelia's just like, you know, vent the nacelles is like, I could do that, but should I? I love that moment.
That's really good to do that. Yeah. She just has that perfect, like, kind of maverick energy. I cannot wait for our Ortegas episode. I want to know so much more about her. And we did learn now that she is a war veteran. She is not perhaps affected as much as Mbenga or Chapel were, but she has been through the game. She's got like a bit of, like, you know, she is experienced and she's a veteran. I'm wondering if that's how Pike and her met, although Pike wasn't in the war, so I'm not sure. There's a lot of like room to develop her character, and just getting her to see her in action is always great fun. Uhura got a lot to do this episode, actually. Right, you know, identifying Pelia as a Lanthanite just from the accent, identifying that obscure dialect of Klingon so she could decode what they were saying. You know, identifying Lan's message, like even though you would think, oh, communications officer, what use is that? You know, it's such a useless position, quote unquote, that it's not even a thing in TNG era, and yet they're coming up with all these various different reasons for her to be really useful.
Definitely an absolute parallel for the writers of how they use Sato compared to how they're using Uhura here, because Sato was wasted. Like, you realise now that Sato was wasted. They could have done so much more than have like nervous translator.
All it requires is a little bit of imagination, a little bit of, I need to give Sato something to do that relates to her linguistic capabilities, not to the fact that she's a space coward. Like, give her something to do, and like, Celia's Rose Gooding is such a good performer that I'm always happy to see it. We also have to call out, you were talking about how good the VFX was in this episode. We also have to talk about that intro. They've changed it up, and I love that they do that. Trek is doing it really consistently in its new shows. Like Discovery did it. Picard changed between seasons as well. I just love evolving intros. Lower Decks as well. Yeah. I love that because it's like you get a sense of progression, a little bit of history, and some of the shots in this, like that, especially that the pink planet with the big like kind of the giant sunburst and the Enterprise just flying through, like it shows you strange new worlds. I want to see it. It's a perfect advertisement for what it is. Great intro.
Yeah, we did see quite a cool strange new world this time. We saw a planet that had a fun diplomatic like the structure of this episode is great. We've got a dilithium planet. We share it every 30 days with the Klingons as to keep a peace treaty, and everyone can have the ore. But there is this malicious group that is trying to restart the war. That's a great concept. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was nicely broken down and not over explained either. It's just Admiral April just going, this is what it is, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they do a smart thing of breaking it up into two chunks. So you get April's exposition and you get Lan's exposition about why these two fats interact. Yeah. And it's such a good outgrowth from Discovery's, because Discovery was very much the broad strokes of the war, just these are the political reasons. But now we're getting into the aftermath, and people dealing with their traumas, but also what does the geopolitical situation look like after this? And I certainly wouldn't mind getting to see L'Rell or Tyler back again, because they were great in Discovery as well. But it's just a nice follow-on, and we are not pretending that Discovery didn't happen.
No.
We're getting to see the D7 class, and we're going to maybe see a growth toward the TOS era stuff. And I'm wondering, this is a kind of fragile piece, but it seems pretty on the level. It didn't take much for Spock to reestablish that peace treaty, so.
Yeah, but the I'm wondering cool. That was like one of the best Klingons ever.
Exactly.
Like, he's just automatically just like, I have to see a Vulcan drink. Like this could mend old wounds.
Yeah. And now we have to ask the question, okay, so we know that in 10 years they're back at a war again, because that's what happens with the Organian Treaty. Yeah. So is something going to happen that's going to push us closer and closer to that war? And that's like I love seeing that kind of development, that zigzag of increasing tensions, decreasing tensions.
Space politics
it's a nice callback to the Cold War.
Space politics, my favorite episodes of TNG are the space politics, especially with the Klingon Empire and the Romulans. Like, I really like that kind of stuff. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And it even kind of this is a very much a 60s throwback in some ways, not just in the thematic things of the Cold War, but that whole thing of sharing this dilithium planet is very much like, it's a Western gold rush and wagon train to the stars. We've got to stop those banditos from taking the watering hole or whatever. It's like the control of resources. It's very much shifted off a few things because we're doing it in 2023, but it's just a nice use of Star Trek's very rich history and its ability to draw on so many different genres.
No, definitely great.
Mitchell is back. I'm so glad to see Mitchell.
Yes.
And she's great. She's fun.
No, it's good Mitchell. That they've elevated. Well, not she was always there in the background, but they actually gave her. She sabotaged the warp core. She was in the main briefing scene. She's not a main cast character, but it's nice that she's there because she's the other one that's on the bridge with Ortega. So maybe they bump her up to main cast. Maybe that'd be nice.
I definitely wouldn't mind. Yeah. She's clearly a talented performer, and she's good fun. Pardon me. It is also a case of I love it when shows develop a strong supporting cast. So it's like, cool, we got a supporting cast. Who's going to turn up? We've got Patel, we've got April, we've got Mitchell, and I love to see that cast evolve. Yeah. We've got a new transporter chief, Chief J, who I imagine we're probably going to be replacing Kyle, who we have unfortunately lost. But maybe even she'll get some character development. You don't know.
Maybe she's not as mean.
Maybe she is much less mean than Kyle. So the other big criticism I've seen people have, and I kind of understand it, is that it's a bit of a shame to start off season 2 and you get 2 minutes of Anson Mount.
Yeah.
Because you do notice his absence because he is such a strong force of personality. That being said, he makes the most out of those 2-3 minutes.
Oh, God, yeah. Proper Boy Scout.
Yeah, proper. I'm going to be Starfleet's Captain America. I'm not going to stand for injustice. We're going to set up the next episode with the legal episode, which is going to be great fun. And it also kind of shows you just how integral he is to the balance of personalities. Because he's gone for 5 minutes and Spock is already stealing the Enterprise.
Yes.
It's for a good reason.
First steal.
Yeah. First one, certainly not the last. And it's Pike would have done the exact same thing, but he probably would have been able to get away with it a bit easier.
Yeah.
And it's like you sometimes need to remove him in order to give other people a chance to shine. Like,
Yeah.
I know that it sucks not to lose a performer. Like, we had that with season 1, where we were constantly feeding Hemmer's absence when he wasn't around. But especially with a cast this wide, you do occasionally need to remove someone in order to make room so that other people can have more room to flourish.
And I think, well, next week is the courtroom episode. I think we'll get plenty of Pike and plenty of Una.
We're going to get plenty of Pike and Una, yeah. They were very much small presences here, but I feel like it's going to be a case of, cool, maybe everyone else is probably going to take more of a backseat, and we can get a hard focus on these two, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it was odd that it was in the first episode, but yeah, I don't mind it, actually. We'll get plenty of Anderson Mount. Okay. Let's talk worst and best moments. So I feel like we're probably going to pick the same worst moment. So should we start with that? I'll let you go first. I'll be the generous one.
Yeah, it's got to be the weird. I'm going to drop through the floor and then flip the camera around. It's just unnecessary stylized stuff that I didn't feel like it was necessary. It just reminds me of some of the more frenetic direction choices in the worst episode of season 2 in Discovery. Point of Light, where it's like flickering light, slow-mo. It's like, I understand that it's like this is a nice way to communicate certain things, but moderation is key when it comes to stylistic techniques. So you notice them more when you don't overuse them.
Yeah, if you want to cut that runtime down by about 10 minutes, that's fine. But like, yeah, don't overuse it. I have to go the same. My worst moment was the same. I know we try and pick one different, but I actually don't think there was another worse. I don't think there was another bad moment in this episode, really, other than that. I think the rest was pretty tight and pretty cohesive. Okay, how about...
the rest of it is going to take it all.
Yeah, how about you?
The rest of it depends on how much it pans out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, what's your best moment?
Oh god, now there's a lot to choose.
There you go. Okay, lost a wide plethora. Okay, there's only the two of us this week, so you've got to. I'll tell you what. I'll let you have two. Two best moments.
I can have two. I can have two as a treat.
You can. Okay. That's my present to you.
My first one is absolutely the scene on the bridge with Pelia. She has two scenes in this episode, but you wouldn't know it from how much she dominates it on the screen. She is such a little gremlin for being like 150 years older.
And that's the right kind of era for her, isn't it? That's Carol Kane is the Gremlins era, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like she's such a wonderful presence. I want to see more of her. I was immediately charmed. Like the first time I watched the episode, I just had a big old smile on my face just seeing her interact with Spock. And just calling everyone out and being so incredibly competent. Guess what? Starfleet officers being competent is my fetish. Sorry.
That's how I get my kicks.
Exactly. Second favorite part of the episode, probably Ortegas just doing a flawless aileron roll through that nebula and dodging every fucking torpedo like she's like in the Matrix with the Enterprise. Like, just what a gorgeous show off. Like. Starship all the time, absolutely. Just as cool as like evasive Patton Ortega's Gamma 1 in the Shepard episode. She's absolutely the best helmsman we've ever seen. Sorry, no contest. She's great.
Yeah. Sorry, Paris.
Idol.
Klingon captain, that smooth son of a bitch who was about to start a war and just went, I need to see a Vulcan drink. What a strange thing. Like, he automatically went into that conversation knowing he wasn't going to start a war. He knows the stakes. He knows what's going on. He's got a brain. He could see one Starfleet officer fire another, but he had to interrogate Spock a little bit, and then he just went, fuck it, let's drink. This is our planet.
In fact, you know what? Just to further support your point, why was that Klingon cruiser there? They were probably investigating the Broken Circle.
Very probably.
They were probably like, we've been hearing about some false flag shit. L'Rell was like, go and have a look and make sure they're not doing some... And he's like, oh, I literally just saw it play out in front of me. But like you say, I want to see this Vulcan drink. Exactly. I'm going to torture him a little bit.
No, he was great, and the actor was brilliant as well. And I'm going to add an addendum onto that as well. I loved when the D7 warped in, and you get that little creaking, weighty... We said it in the watch-through, but like, I don't really care that they play sounds in space, because it's cooler. There is no sound in space, but hearing that ship warp in, have a sense of weight when it, creaks around the corner, and it's great. I think my other favourite moment is La'an having a drinking contest. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed that. Most of the Klingons'
even though
reactions.
Even though this was jumping off of her point, she didn't get a ton to do, but what she did get in this episode was great. Like that drinking contest, and also the Return of the Jedi thermal detonator moment with the like just And I'm pretty sure that's like a callback to something in season 1 as well. I think the episode where she was like mentoring Uhura.
Right.
I really like the burgeoning relationship that she's got with Uhura, where she's kind of taking on that mentor role. I really like that, and they developed that a bit further here as well. Yeah, I like that a lot. You know, you go away, you miss a few things.
Yeah,
I'm also really looking forward to just all the little hints of what we're gonna see going forward, like Gorn War, which is not something that ever came up before, and we're getting real close to completely smashing Arena. Arena is in a very, very tremulous state right now. But I'm also a case of like, do I care that much? I'm really enjoying Strange New Worlds. Do I really care?
I mean, you can twist that script around as far as you really like it. You know, Spock's a secret.
In the end, it's like. In the end, it comes down to: do I enjoy both episodes? Yes. Do I particularly care they don't match up? Not really.
No.
I want to see a development of what's going on with this eye gesture between Lana and Mbenga. I want to know what that's about.
Yeah, it's really strange.
We need to see who is the leader of this scholarship about archaeological medicine on Vulcan. Is it a certain Roger Corby, our first name R?
Roger.
I need to see it. No, Roger.
Okay, sorry.
Also, clearance, Clarence. And I also have to call out: Strange New Worlds has a first big gay couple with Oriana's parents being lesbians. So they didn't get names, so still waiting for development on that.
Yeah.
But
no, Stamets and Culber's energy is just too strong. It has sucked up all the gay energy from all the other Star Trek shows. So,
I don't know, Seven and Raffi, but
that's true as well. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
but okay.
But guess what? It's better than in season 1. I'll take it.
Very true. Very true. How about give us your rating for this episode? What is the criteria we shall be rating this against?
Okay, what am I going for here?
You mean you hadn't even pre-planned it?
I haven't pre-planned it. Okay. Idle, how many Vamonoses out of 10 would you give this episode?
A small one for you, a small one. Usually it's not like the 2-paragraph wall of texts.
What was that I said for the other one? Was it lemonade trays with the little holes in them? So I called that one out. I remember that being one of my favorites.
Just fine. I've got the spreadsheet open here because I need to put the scores in. But hang on, no, I think
because I think it was that one, and I think I did the Enterprise or the Voyager one we just did recently.
No, the longest one you've done is the 24th century lemonade trays that go through the bottom instead of being on a standard tray. Is your longest one next to illegally photon warhead mined Klingon corpses that contravene the 1948 Geneva Convention. So I'll take how many Vamonosas. I would give this. I think I've actually been talked up to a 6.5. It was a 6 for me. I will go a 6.5. That action sequence really drew a lot out for me. I think that it causes too many problems. I did enjoy a lot of the episode. Also, I'm a little bit, I would have liked a season 2 opener to feel more, for the hype that we have brought up for it.
A bit more of a mission statement?
A little bit more of a mission statement, a little bit. This would have been a great maybe episode 2 or 3. I could have seen, something like that. I would have maybe liked to sort of set things up with another episode. What was the other thing I didn't really care for? No, I've already forgotten it. But yeah, there was, it was mostly that sequence with the drug and then them kicking ass and taking names. Well, not taking any names in that case, but it served. It could have been served. The purpose it served could have been done better, I think. So it's a 6.5.
It could have just been cut down.
Yeah.
I think you're being unnecessarily harsh. I'd give it an 8. 8 Vamonoses out of 10 for me. I think that the amount of character work being done with Spock here, the amount of great moments for Uhura and Lon and Mitchell and Ortegas. All the great stuff with like Pelia, I feel like that absolutely elevates this way up. But like, I'm gonna rewatch this episode. Like, I'm not gonna rewatch the child killing episode in season 1, and I gave that more of a 6 because it's competently done. I'm just never gonna rewatch it, and I think that in the grand scheme of things, like, you can just hit fast forward through the fight scenes next time you watch it.
That's true.
Actually.
Skip
and then that basically eliminates the one. And it's like, I feel like 6.5 is like, you're taking 3.5 points off for a 5-minute sequence.
All right,
I feel like that's unnecessary.
You've guilted me up to a 7. How about that? I'll guilt me up to a 7. I'll take a 7. Fine.
Yeah. I'll fully admit, maybe part of this is just a case of I'm really excited to have Strange New Worlds back because it's so fucking good. But I do genuinely feel this. I do genuinely feel this is a really strong episode that's a lot stronger than one component part.
Yeah, no, you are right. I believe. I feel I feel in my head I'm thinking episodes to come, and I'm kind of hoping they will be better. And I've got a feeling next episode's going to be a cracker. So.
Oh, don't worry. If we're lucky, it'll be all 8s, 9s, and 10s from here on out. That would be the greatest gift to us. Can you imagine?
I want a 10. I need to go back. I actually can't. We need to check our. Did we score when we did this?
Spock.
Yeah, Spock.
Oh, we gave him. Yeah, Spock got a 10s from everyone. I think apart from Auto.
Awesome. That guy. All right, thank you.
That guy. He hates this show.
Thank you very much for watching. We will be back again next week for episode 2 of Strangely Well season 2. So you can't courtroom scene. Get your Samuel T.
We're gonna get legal
ready, and we will see you next time. Live long, and prosper. Ta-ra.